Welcome to the Bludd Heart Podcast, episode number 24. Hello, my friends. Pull up a chair, pull up a seat, you relax. We're going to talk about the season. We're going to talk about the crazy amount of communication we've gotten over the last couple weeks. There is maybe some things you overlooked and you missed. They've probably posted like 100 times in 60 days. It's been wild since BlizzCon, so like 30 days since BlizzCon. And they probably posted more than 30 times in 30 days, which is a crazy amount of communication. So I'm going to cover some of the things there. Talk about some Diablo 4 news, kind of. And talk about our seasons, man. Talk about our seasons and how the season's going and all that stuff. So my season's been going great. I've been doing lots of speeds. We've been doing like different variations of Whirlwind Barb, Crusader, and Paj Monk. If you check out my build page, you can see all that stuff there. Let me put on dark mode if you're watching the video version of the podcast. So you can see we have new builds for December 1st, 2019. The Paj RGK version and support build. If you see me on stream and you're like, what is happening? Why don't you do this or why that? Basically, the main comp we've been running is the monk can Rift Guardian kill up to like probably in the 20s, in the 120s, right? He's one-shotting Rift Guardians with the Flurry rune. You can use Sun Wukong or you can use Patterns of Justice. So not only is the monk going through popping Rift Guardians, popping elites, he's also supporting the group and giving the barbs shields. The shields allow us to keep up Squirt's Necklace like full time. If you do not have like a Rift Guardian killer in the group, like a Satyr, even a demon hunter, or of course a monk in the group. If you don't have somebody popping skulls of Rift Guardians, then you're gonna need to run with a traditional build like the one down here, like a well-rounded group DPS. With both of these builds, you can't use Squirt's Necklace without a Z-Monk. So you can see how there's different stipulations for different items or whatever. So yeah, this support build right here, where the Paj Monk build works great with the Barb group and all they have to do is clear trash. So down here is a Messerschmitt. Shout out to Rob, he's a streamer, and the ZE boys for coming up with all these builds. Yeah, this is a group DPS with Messerschmitt, and you are allowed to not use Zodiac Ring, right? You can use a two-hander. Messer lowers the cooldown of your skills, so you can keep up Route the Berserker full time and use Focus and Restraint. When you're doing speed runs specifically, you know, if your only job is to wave clear and you're doing speed runs specifically, you can run Focus and Restraint. You have more effective uptime on your like damage buff versus say like Convention of Elements, where it's only up 4 seconds out of 14 seconds. So you effectively have a 25% uptime. Unless, of course, you're playing Necromancer, then you only have 3 elements, so then that would be a 33%. So that's a huge difference, right? Having it up a third of the time versus a fourth of the time. So I use Messer when we have this specific setup. Or if you had just a Crusader and a monk and a support monk in the group, then you can rock the Messer version. That's not always the case, though, but this is really good for pugs. And like I said, if you're running pugs and you're doing this build and there's no Z-Monk, drop the squirts for like a flavor of time or even a Hellfire Amulet and you should be good to go. Yo, but this isn't a guide, okay? This is just, this is the podcast. We're chilling over here. This is just, I want to explain to you that, you know, I try to keep the page up to date with what's happening, and like we have tons of resources over here. It's all free for everybody. I literally just use this because I don't have a website yet. So you can just go here and click on anything you need, from gem calculators and like watch all my hardcore deaths, or here's the podcast master link in the main page. It basically is like a one-stop shop for all the stuff. Each class has like sections. So yeah, been doing lots of speeds. We broke 1600 Paragon yesterday. It was really, really awesome. It's probably the most I've farmed in just a week. Typically not the biggest Paragon farmer. I usually end up around 2500 per season, just because I don't find it too interesting farming main stat over and over and over. But since it's varied and we got barbs and there's like, it's pretty interesting. As of right now, I'm still like just as motivated as day one. Like I just want to keep grinding, and I want to farm more this season than I've ever farmed before. So hopefully we can break like 3000. That'd be cool. For me, that's a lot. Even though all I do is play Diablo, it doesn't mean I want to sit there and farm main stat. But I think because the community's popping and barb runs are way chill, and it's just cool, man. And there's been like different shifts in the speed meta, and I feel like there's like even combos that we haven't discovered yet. So the discovery and the newness and all that is really interesting to me. I think I'm wearing one primal pair of boots. They're not even best in slot. I just like wearing primals, but yeah, they don't have any armor on them. So it's not the best thing, but they have all resist. And as a barb, I do have plenty of armor, so I could probably get away with them for a little while before I get some all res and armor boots. Since you're not putting whirlwind on the boots, you can definitely sneak by for a little while until I have to get better ones. I do have to push at some point. On day 3 of the season, we did a pair of 120s with Crusader and Barb, so I have 2 characters I'm gearing out. I do have to push at some point. I've been getting around it. I've been trying to avoid it rather, because I know I'm going to be fishing. You know, like I'm probably just going to open 130s, go from 120 to 130 because of the progression. And I'm thinking about flipping keys, man. And we're going to talk about flipping keys later. There's a lot of stuff that we have to cover today. But yeah, man, I'm probably going to flip keys and stuff like that. So what's today? Tuesday? I could see me pushing like on Friday once I get a few more augments and a little bit more Paragon, like Friday. I think each of my characters has 8 augments right now. I have to put them on still. I think I have 8 augments total after I go live today and go through and post everything. I hope your guys' season is going well. I hope you're getting drops and leveling up your gems and all that stuff. Yeah, may the drops be with you, Nephilim. May RNG forever be in your favor and all that stuff. We're gonna talk about these Blizzard communication though. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right off with the hot hitting topics and yikes. Okay, I don't know how I feel about this, so we're gonna work through my feelings live on the podcast. Turbo HUD. They officially recognized Turbo HUD, I believe, for the first time on stream or in public. He said, hey, D-Tune, Turbo HUD has some cool features, but on the other hand, it has some features that give players a more advantage. In the past, Turbo HUD fell by the wayside and didn't catch the attention of anti-cheat programs like Warden, right? So if you don't know what Turbo HUD is, it's basically like a map hack and other stuff. Like it's like a cheating program that do not use, okay? Bad. You never heard me talk about it because I thought it was like a taboo. I thought it was like the Voldemort, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't mention this thing. But since it's out, it's kind of good maybe because it's out in the open. It's kind of good maybe because it's out in the open and we're talking about it. And like, it's, you know, maybe they'll fix it more because people are talking about it. He says, we'll have more to say in the near future. So it looks like we're going to hear about that Turbo HUD getting banned and players maybe getting banned, or I don't know. But to answer your question, Turbo HUD is seen as a program that should not be used in the game in its current state. I agree. And it said, as for bots, their time is coming. As for bots, your time is coming. So I don't exactly know what that means other than there's going to be a ban wave. I think as players, even if you don't care about the ladder, you want your game to be clean, right? Or even if you just barely hit the ladder early season, or you're not, you know, no matter what, I think nobody likes cheaters, right? For the most part. So that's a good thing, man. I'm excited about ban waves coming. I'm excited about people that using Turbo HUD maybe get banned and all that stuff. It should be perma ban, man. It should be perma IP. They're just gonna get another account and do it. We just had Black Friday, man, and Cyber Monday. The game was on sale. You know, they're just gonna go through and buy another account cheap. Okay. If they did the ban wave before Black Friday, then I would 100% believe they're trying to drive sales. But since they're waiting to after, then okay, I'll give you a pass, Blizzard. You know, it could have been completely different had you had a ban wave before. Before it would have been like a monetary reason for that. But yeah, so you got to pass. I guess I've had so many people on my stream say, "Hey, Bludd, what is T-HUD? You know, what is Turbo HUD?" Like, and I've never had that many people before. So I don't know if talking about it on a public forum was good or bad. You guys let me know in the comments below. Again, that's the thing that I'm most conflicted about. I'm like, whoa, Hey, we don't say that word around here, okay? I've had like hundreds of people since the post 4 days ago in my streams asking about it, right? If people go for any advantage in any game, I heard people bot the hell out of dungeon defenders. Like, why are you botting dungeon defenders, man? Leave dungeon defenders alone. This is like random indie games or, so let alone a competitive game like Diablo or semi-competitive anyway. So let me know what you guys think. I'm curious. It's, yeah, wow. But I hope all these ban waves come and then it'll be glorious for us because I definitely don't use any programs or I don't use any bots. Never have, never will. I'm way too chill for that. That's some sweaty boy activities that I don't partake in. One other thing that Matthew's one of the game producer on Diablo 3. And one thing he said on the forums also was, I'm a huge fan of allowing portals to open and break down after use. Like with Greater Rifts, right? You complete the Greater Rift and you close it and it's done, and then you can open another one. One thing that doesn't do that is Infernal Machines and cow levels. He said, I personally dislike having to fish for Greater Rifts. Me too, Matthew. You know what? Don't we all, man? It's one of the most bad and good things. It does separate good players having to, because who flips for hours, right? Good players is loose, okay? It separates like the super dedicated, because I'll flip like 100 keys for an open map. In some way, it does kind of separate like the super hardcore and all that stuff. But he said, I personally dislike having to fish for Greater Rifts and then have to leave the game over and over. Yeah, that gameplay does make me feel sick sometimes. You have to log in and log out. That could be a solid quality of life for a future season. I'll sneak it in their ears. I don't know, like, I guess he has to get these changes approved or something like that. I'm not sure. I'll write it up and pass it along. Have fun slaying demons. So, wow, that's kind of like he slipped in like a big quality of life change there. I think a lot of us would love if we could do a cow level. I mean, that would increase the value of bovine weapons or cow sticks. If you can grab a pool of reflection and then it closes, you can close it. That would be amazing, dude. We probably would open cow levels, depending on how we could close it. Because if we had to complete the whole thing, it wouldn't be worth. If we just had to do the cow event, it might or may not be worth. If we could just open it, use the cow stick, and then close it, that would create like a whole new currency in Diablo, and that kind of stuff I really love. Like I do keep puzzle rings for gold and gems sometimes. I keep like around 20 to 30. If you watched, I put a gold video out on the channel recently. And yeah, like we do keep, it would just be cool to have more stuff to think about and hold. Like sometimes I'll keep white items so I can flip my materials around, or it's just nice to have another thing. Right now they're kind of inefficient. So if it takes you, let's say it takes you a minute and a half right now to go through, grab the pulls, reset the game, and get back into another rift in a 4-player group. A minute and a half is like halfway to another GR you could have completed. So even though you're getting more XP, the time you would have spent just literally playing the game would have made up for it. So most people don't grab pulls, I don't think, anymore. I can't speak for everybody. But I know it's the game is getting so fast that it makes even taking the time to run vaults even worthless, right? If it wasn't for gold find gear, it's kind of worthless still, honestly. If it wasn't for gold find gear, it would be 100% be worthless. So if you have gold, you can empower the Greater Rift. If you empower the Greater Rift, you can get 1 extra gem up per run. So in theory, if I do 100 runs, I'll have a level 100 augment before you. If I empower 100 and you don't, I'll have an extra 100 augment in my bank ready to go. But if it takes me X amount of time, you would be running rifts faster and all in keys faster. You'll probably get that gold anyway in the time you spent just playing the game, right? So, or you get more gem ups and all that stuff, more XP. You're just doing more stuff, getting more than just gold. So it's kind of like close. So if they lower the vault time to 30 seconds, which you heard it here first, boys, confirmed. If you lower the vault time to 30 seconds and you lower the cow stick closure to 30 seconds and you make us able to close cow sticks without even completing the event, bro, that would be so dope. if there was something we could just talk to them and be like, yeah, close it or something. Because if we have to do the cow event, it might be beneficial still, but it would be even more so if we can open it, grab the pools and close it, even though it's kind of like we're not engaging with the content in any way other than grabbing the pools or reflection. It does create a whole new currency in the game. And I mean, we might get more XP in the long run, but it's just kind of cool to have something else to think about. As of right now, I keep cow sticks, but we don't really spend them. We just kind of throw them away. So if you played the season, you probably know that there's been a lot of group bugs and it's so frustrating, man. Yeah, we make the joke that it's like the forced SSF season. Like, the new seasonal theme is you play by your damn lonesome, because that's how it's been tough. Like, people message me as a streamer, or like, even if you had friends, I mean, people message me, they're like, Blood, can I join? And then it takes 5 minutes for them to join. So I just take whoever can beat the Q boss, man, right? Whoever can beat the bug boss can join my group, because it's just so obnoxious. The best thing that I found is both people need to go to menus, switch to a non-seasonal character, switch back to your seasonal character, and then invite from the menu. That seems to work at a really high success rate. But again, it's super annoying. And sometimes like it just, people can join instantly, no problem. You can see my my speech is increased because I'm getting passionate, man. It's unfortunate. That's the only stain on the season, is really been the group bug. This whole season's been perfect, except for the group bug and maybe the lag, but I guess we could talk about that after, and see whatever. The group bug, there's kind of a solution, but it doesn't always work. If you guys have experienced it, let me know. It's pretty bad. Or if you have another fix for it, I'd love to hear more tips and tricks. People read the comments, and it might help them out when they're trying to, join their friends or just play in groups or pugs, get that XP, get that loot pouring in. They put like a few fixes for it, but it's still there. This was on the 27th. It's still there, and there's a patch today. This is Tuesday. I'm streaming this. I'm recording this rather on Tuesday morning. So there might be a official fix, and then next week I'll report back to you. And we also haven't got the part 2 of the Diablo 4 itemization. So they'll probably talk about it this week, and then we'll report it next week as well. We can talk about lag though. We definitely can do that. So one thing that helps with the lag, well, what causes the lag, right? It's early season, the servers are super old, and they're getting pounded by a grip of players. TLDR, right? There's a lot of people coming back, and it puts a lot of strain on these old bones, man. These old bones of a Diablo 3 server. It was just bad technology, or it's just old technology. I don't know really exactly how it works. They never upgraded them or fixed them. Then they probably, So basically, the servers have old bones, and we're dancing on them old bones. So it's really, really laggy at times, especially at a high level when there's more enemies on the screen. At a low level, you don't feel it as much because you're killing so fast, or there's not like hundreds on screen. When there's like, I don't know, like 100 or less, you don't really feel it, or at least I don't. And then when you get to like over 100 enemies on screen in an open map, when you're pushing high levels, it's really, really bad. So things that cause it to happen is more calculations for the server. So like if you have area damage, which at least one character needs to have area damage, I think, to kill the trash, but area damage from your support, from your RGK causes more calculations. Things like pain enhancer puts dots everywhere. Here's a proposed change. All right, Matthew, okay, or anybody, Frankie, if you're out there. We use pain enhancer, but we don't use it for the dot effect. We use it for the attack speed boost, right? So if there was a way to tag the mobs without causing more calculations, like remove the bleed effect and just put something else, or like we actually don't need the bleed. It doesn't do any damage. It does insignificant damage. It was designed a long time ago. It's definitely getting outscaled by other stuff, but we literally just use it for the attack speed. So that would be cool if they can remove the bleed effect, and that would help out the servers immensely. We don't really need it at all. So there's that. Yeah. No pain enhancer, no area damage. And you can turn down like the FX in your game, like you go to the video, and I think that kind of stuff helps. But if you guys have any tips and tricks, again, the comments, man, people love that stuff. And even me, like I've learned a lot of stuff from you guys. So yeah, it's been laggy. It's been hard to get groups, but the season's been really dope so far because of the fresh changes in the meta. So shout out to Blizzard for that, okay? We talked about the botting in the Thud. We talked about the laggy servers. Oh, there's some confirmed changes. Okay, so this was like a while ago. This was like 18 days ago. But you might have missed some of these juicy details. Because I'll tell people like, yo, Bazooka's getting nerfed, and they're shocked. They're like, flabbergasted, man. What do you mean, Blood? Bazooka's getting nerfed. So when they talked about fixing a lot of the stuff that's in the patch currently that maybe you don't or do not remember, one thing that they mentioned at the bottom was, we know there are still other things to address, including Rathma Necromancer, which you can interpret this saying that, you know, Rathma is really underperforming and it needs a buff. Or you can interpret this and say that rat runs are plaguing the game and need to be eradicated. Eradicated? So I take this as they're going to nerf Singularity and buff Rathma. They're going to address it. Like, we're going to address how bad this is. What do you guys think? I think for sure it's going to get buffed. You know, I like Rathma. I mean, Rathma is what, you know, we'll talk about Rathma later. Okay. In the D4 section. But yeah, Rathma's a cool set, dude. They should buff it. They should just nerf Singularity. It's really the cause of all this problem. If you look at how much fun we've had switching in different DPS this season and just having variety in how we play the game is amazing. But anyway, Rathma Necromancer is going to have some changes, and then it says Bazooka Wizard. And then they also have another post confirming that they're going to nerf Bazooka Wizard. Bazooka Wizard, if you don't know, is like a legacy of Dream build where you utilize Archon and Star Pact and you do stupid damage. People have done like 150 early season. A big part of that is because Bazooka's wave clear is godly. Like, you have to kill the trash, and you know what I mean? Like, single target builds like Crusader are pretty strong, but they're not the reason that, you know what I mean, that they're clearing 150. It's the wave clear from Bazooka gets you there, and then the single targets just kind of put it down. In general, Demon Hunter performance. So they're basically saying here, all Demon Hunters need to get buffed. And that's true, man. They're not that weak. Like, you can say Multi-Shot, Shadow, and Lod Rapid Fire are like in that 130, the low 130 territory. So they definitely just need like a 20% bump or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? They don't need that much because they already are pretty popular and pretty strong. But if we get a new Demon Hunter set and they buff all the existing sets by like, I don't know, 20%, or maybe they make it more interesting with different items, then the Demon Hunters will be stronger, and Shadow will probably be back to RGK, or it'll be at least competitive, especially with other adjustments. So there's some big revelations here. They did talk about other things like balancing out the Crusader. So if you love AoV Satyr, there's a chance it might get nerfed or balanced next season. They even said in the comments, we're committed to continuing to balance with community feedback in mind as we release additional patches throughout 2020. So we got confirmed patches all next year and balance patches too. That's amazing, right? That's pretty good. They haven't really balanced the game ever until the last year or so. They've been trying to. I mean, you're never going to achieve perfect balance. Like, when I say balance, I mean like attempt. Like, they never even attempted to it. Necro's been out since 2017. And it's been, yeah, just dominating the speedruns and all that. So it's good that they have this in mind. I mean, I want to be able to play Necro and not have to just play Corpse Lance or May or Singularity. It'd be nice to be able to have to play. Like, a new set is definitely going to help. Hopefully the new set even buffs multiple builds. And yeah. And then, so what this means is they're going to probably nerf Satyr. They're probably going to nerf the God tier builds. We have a tier list on the channel. And like, God tier builds have been getting hit. Like, you can see nerfs to Thorn's Necro, nerfs to Veer's Wizard, like all the best builds in the game. Bazooka, So all these god tier builds are getting basically knocked down a notch. So you can definitely see Barb taking like a 10 to 15% hit in the future. At least they gave us a season of Barb being beast mode, right? And then you can also see Satyr getting a 20% hit in the future to bring it more in line. It seems like they're bringing the solo push into the 130 to 140 range versus the 140 to 150 range. Like they're killing god tier and they're basically leaving S tier. S tier to me is like that 135 to 140. So it seems like that's what they're balancing around, but I don't know for sure. This is just like my own thoughts, right? So let me know what you guys think. Obviously, I don't mind them like not just always getting as stronger. I would rather all the builds be around 135 to 140. That seems more reasonable and not like just crazy. Like Bazooka did a 145 last season and it's getting nerfed. So Satyr, I believe, is already in the 140s in Europe. And we're only like less than 2 weeks into the season. And I think Barb is getting close. So there is going to be some adjustments, I would imagine. They even said right here, we're committed to continuing to balance with community feedback in mind as we release additional patches throughout 2020. In D4 news, TechOx from Reddit, and he's a YouTuber as well. He grabbed a media file, okay? Like a BlizzCon, Blizzard D4 media file that you can download from the official website. And I don't know the exact details, but I'll tell you the gist of it. He put it like in Adobe or After Effects or something like that. And it revealed that there was markers made. And the name of those markers said Rathma's eyes on a Rathma scene. We always call him Rathma, right? I put a video out a month ago saying that this is Rathma. Here's all the reasons why. His demeanor, the way his followers portray him. He's pale dude in his 40s. That's how Rathma's described. Rathma's missing a finger. And in the trailer, the dude is also missing a finger. Like I put a bunch of things out, but this basically confirms it, you know? And so, yeah, we were right in our video. Woohoo! Everyone's like in my stream, yo, Bludd. Yo, Bludd. Do you know Rathma's confirmed? And I'm like, yeah, it feels bad, man. I did confirm it. I didn't confirm it. I just gave the most clues possible. But to me, it was confirmed. There's no way it wasn't. But whatever. Life goes on, you know? But it's confirmed officially. At least it looks like it. The only thing that could be not confirmed is if they planted that to distract us in some weird way. And to do some kind of plot twist scenario, but that seems like way too random and try hard. I don't think that they did that. I think 100% it's Rathma. I always thought that. Now it's like extra super confirmed. But shout out to TechOx for finding this out. It's a crazy thing to find out, right? But now everyone's going to do that every season going forward. They're going to drop media files into their editing software and see if there's any markers and things like that that were like hidden in the game. I guess you can mask them, and people were saying that there's no way they wouldn't mask them. But, you know, if they were busy or some intern was in charge of it, some pleb turn could have just made the mistake. Like even though like Blizzard's a big company and all that, like it doesn't mean that they don't hire people for grunt work. Like they got one person, can you clean all this up? So, and he's like, yeah, I got that. And he's playing the D4 demo in the corner, right? He's like, yeah, don't worry. And then, so, yikes. That was either a big mistake or it was intended, or they're just like, YOLO, we gave you enough clues. It was Rathma anyway. Forehead, you should have figured it out. You know, should have listened to Bludd and just understood that it was Rathma from the beginning. So it's either big news, depending on what side of the fence you're on. But I had to report it. It's D4 news. At least we got something. Like I said earlier, we didn't get the itemization update this week. So hopefully next week we get that. We got some freaking patrons out here. We got Pango back with another Patreon sub. Thank you so much, Pango, for your support, man, and all that. I really appreciate it. Daniel B with the pledge. Jimmy and Christopher. Yo, thank you guys for taking the time to become a patron. Yeah, it really means a lot that you guys support what we do here. And I can't wait to go transition to D4 one day with you guys. It's going to be amazing. If you want to support the stream more, you can always leave a rating on whatever you're listening, whatever, if it's YouTube or Spotify, Apple. The ratings do help. They push us up in the search function. If you want to take it a step further, you can always drop your Prime sub on Twitch, or I have a second YouTube channel. I have social media you can follow. All that stuff helps. It's always hard growing everything. I have new merchandise in the shop from the Bludd Heart Podcast t-shirt. We got to get the official t-shirt, but the heart is the same roughly. We got a embroidered beanie and hats, and finally got hats. Mine's in the mail. I can't wait to get it. And the BS logo is modeled after my signature. If you've never seen my signature, when I sign people's like shirts, I get BlizzCon or whatever, it looks like that. It's a B and then it comes up to an S. So I thought it was cool. I wanted to make something a little bit more personable. I really like in the top corner. But anyway, thank you guys so much for supporting and listening to the podcast and listening to a man ramble about Diablo 3. I will be back next week and recapping the week and all the news and all that stuff. Have a good drops and all that. This is the Bluddshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.